Ricochet has put in his metaphorical 2-week notice to WWE, and he's out in the summertime. Bye-bye. And Twitter was ablaze with Ricochet, but you know what Twitter was even more trending with? Samantha, because Samantha is Ricochet's girlfriend, and more people are worried about losing Samantha than they are about Ricochet, and it's like, whoa, not a good sign, not a good sign. Great sign for Samantha, but not so much Ricochet. I'm going to speak some hard truths here. The wrestling podcast people who are all about AEW are going to be like, this is a huge blow, we're losing Ricochet, oh my god. But the rest of the WWE universe, the casuals and everybody, we're going to be like, oh, okay, that sucks. Anyways, because Ricochet, he never really fully connected. He never really fully connected. Now, you could be like, well, that's Triple H's fault. That's Vince McMahon's fault. That's Creative's fault. But I would argue that's Ricochet's fault. Some people just don't got it. Some people just don't got the it factor. Now, when it comes to moves and stuff, yeah, Ricochet has it. He has it in spades. Ricochet is probably top 3 wrestlers right now in WWE. He's amazing. He is awesome. He is great and phenomenal and everything. However, ironically, the thing you need least in wrestling to succeed is wrestling ability. You know, you need to be able to connect with the crowd. You need to be able to have mic skills. You need to be able to just, I don't know, have it, right? You have to have it. Who has it right now in WWE? The people with it, they're Braun Breaker, there's Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, of course, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. These people have it. Chad Gable has it. Chad Gable is also one of the top 3 wrestlers in WWE right now. Chad Gable's contract is up right now. Chad Gable would be a huge loss if we lost him. Chad Gable would be news worth just being like, oh my god, how did we let this happen? But Ricochet has moves. He doesn't have it. Ricochet fought Logan Paul last year, right? What do we remember of that feud? We remember his collision at the Royal Rumble, and we remember Logan Paul being a jerk to Samantha, Ricochet's girlfriend. Nothing else, really. They built it as this really viral match, and Ricochet, he performed. That was a great match, but at the end of the day, that match was going to happen, regardless. It was going to happen, and you were going to have your moments. What Ricochet needed to do, use that time because he was in the spotlight, everybody was looking at him, he needed to really fully 100% connect with the crowd, and he didn't. We remember his girlfriend, and we remember his moment at Royal Rumble, and everything else is like, whatever. Logan Paul is fighting LA Knight this year, and I'm more invested in that match than I am with Ricochet, and LA Knight is no Ricochet in the ring. Ricochet is far better. The Ricochet match with Logan Paul last year is going to be way 100% better. But I'll tell you what, I'll be on my edge of my seat with LA Knight and Logan Paul because I'm invested in LA Knight. I'm invested in Logan Paul. I want to see this match because I like their characters. I like the smack talk. I like the storyline going into it. Now, I do want a good match. If the match is a stinker, then it will affect the overall how I feel about the feud as a whole, but I think it will be good enough. You need just good enough. Great is added bonus in WWE. You need storylines, you need connection, you need charisma. Ricochet, hard truth, just doesn't have it. Just doesn't have it. Now, there is one comment out there that does make me think that WWE really did drop the ball with Ricochet, is that Conan from Keeping It 100, AAA, and the NWO/WCW, he is best friends with Rey Mysterio Jr. He would not say this statement lightly. He said that Ricochet reminded him of Rey Mysterio, that Ricochet was the second coming of Rey Mysterio. That statement makes me think WWE dropped the ball. But then again, if you look back at Rey Mysterio throughout his career, when has he ever really had a really banger of a promo? Rey Mysterio came up in a time not in WWE. He made his name in WCW when there was like a million guys that Rey Mysterio could just beat and beat crazily. Is that even a word? He could just go crazy. He could go ham. He could do all these tricks. And the audience fell in love with that 30 years ago. And Rey Mysterio had a platform in which he could do it. A very unique time for a small guy like Rey Mysterio to get over. And Rey Mysterio's really been like one of the only people that ever really fully got over like that, able to transition to WWE. Rey Mysterio's almost like the exception to the rule. But Ricochet is in today's day and age, and WWE doesn't have that many people that he can just beat like Rey Mysterio was able. Rey Mysterio could literally beat a new talent every week because Eric Bischoff was just signing people all over the world to come to WCW. But WWE has a set amount of wrestlers, and after Ricochet goes through the lower card, he can't just keep going and going and going because Ricochet can't be beating someone like LA Knight. He just can't. And after 3 months of the lower mid-card, Ricochet would have to start going to the mid-card, upper mid-card, and it just can't happen. LA Knight has way more money potential. Ricochet has way more viral moment potential in the ring, but LA Knight, I mean, honestly, LA Knight has them too with his mic skills. Look at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is a great wrestler. But when did we really start being like, oh my God, Sami Zayn is main event wrestler? After his match with Jackass, after his involvement with the Bloodline. When we think of the best years of the Bloodline, it's when Sami Zayn is there. And Sami Zayn wasn't doing banger matches. He was like the jobber. He was like the comic relief, right? But he was so funny, so charismatic, so like invested in his character in that moment that we just fell in love with Sami Zayn. Ricochet is the guy at the party that's like, we look around and he's not there, and people are like, it's like 3 hours into the party, right? And we're like, hey, I thought Ricochet was coming. Oh yeah, he had to work. Well, what about his girlfriend? Is Samantha still coming? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't really care that Ricochet's not there. But we would care if Sami Zayn don't show up. Well, what do you mean Sami Zayn's not showing up? What do you mean Samantha's not showing up? You know, we care about these people because we're invested in them. Now you're like, how are you invested so much in Samantha? It's because she's pretty? No. At WrestleMania 40, at some point, everybody realized she was just a great announcer, and we all just started caring about her. It happened naturally. I don't know. She has charisma, natural charisma, and Ricochet just doesn't. Now, do we gotta fault him for not having natural charisma? No, we're not gonna be like, oh, he sucks because he doesn't have it. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. Very few people make it to the tippy top of WWE without natural charisma. The only one I can really think about is Great Khali, but that's because he was super tall. But he had no charisma, no wrestling ability, no nothing. He was just super tall, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Ugh, let's not even talk about it. And then Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit, he who should not be mentioned, he also did not have mic skills or natural charisma. I mean, he could talk, but like, he couldn't. It was all about his in-ring ability. But other than that, there's really no other examples. Now, there have been awesome talent that made it to the top. Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, those guys made it to the top, right? Bret Hart, but they could hang on the mic. Bret Hart might have not been the greatest on the mic, but he had his moments. He definitely had his moments, and he's part of the new generation anyways. Let's just talk about after the Attitude Era. Chris Benoit definitely is like the only guy who I can really remember that made it to the top without that natural charisma and whatever, but he connected somehow with his intensity, maybe? I don't know. Whatever the case may be, he's the only example that Ricochet could be like, oh, maybe. And Rey Mysterio. Okay, Rey Mysterio as well, but Rey Mysterio, like I said, he's an exception. Try to forget about Rey Mysterio. Try to completely forget about Rey Mysterio and think, can Ricochet make it to the top of WWE with what he has? Yeah, he has the ring ability, but did I ever really see him beating Roman Reigns? Do I ever see him beating Brock Lesnar? Did I ever see him beating Cody Rhodes? No, I don't. I really, really don't. At best, you could have one of those Bret Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid moments with Ricochet, but never ever is Ricochet going to make it. So maybe Ricochet does want to take his ball and leave. Maybe he wants to go to AEW. AEW will pay him fat. Right now, especially if AEW does not get to sign Chad Gable, they'll probably just put all that money aside and give it to Ricochet, right? Because Tony Khan doesn't think like a normal booker, right? Tony Khan doesn't think about money. Tony Khan has all the money in the world. Tony Khan thinks like a collector. Like, ooh, that's something that I want right now and I need it. And then he'll pay whatever he wants for it. He gets it, and then he moves on to the next thing that he wants. Tony Khan is more of a collector than he is a promoter. I mean, I'm not even saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it is what it is. I've said it in the past when it comes to AEW. You only got to work 4 to 6 times a month. That's not bad, especially for the money he's going to pay. I heard MJF's getting $15 million a year. That's insane money. That's insane money. Would Ricochet get that much? No, but he'd probably get a lot, especially because Tony Khan is such a connoisseur of these New Japan matches, these indie matches, and Ricochet made his name on the indies. He has a lot of crazy, awesome matches. And Will Ospreay is in AEW, and he's talking high praise of Ricochet right now. And I could totally see Tony Khan saying, I want that match. I want Will Ospreay versus Ricochet at my All In. Or some random, Destiny, Dynasty, whatever he wants to call them. A random episode of Collision. He wants that. And Ricochet will get a huge 2-month push. And one of two things will happen. He'll either fall way down the card, or he'll get injured. And then he'll just have a lot of money to sit on, and I hope that's enough. I do think, though, that Ricochet leaving WWE is more about wanting to bet on himself and further his career, and I don't think that'll happen in AEW, but it might. People have left. The landscape is different. Leaving WWE right now, when it's the hottest product around, selling out arenas, is a questionable move. It's not like when Cody left. It's not like when Zack Ryder even left. It can happen, though. Dolph Ziggler, he is making a name for himself on the indies as Nick Nemeth. Dolph Ziggler is doing great and having a fulfilling career after WWE, so Ricochet can do it. And Ricochet had a fulfilling career before, so he kind of knows what to expect. Ricochet, I wish you the best. I wish you the best in all your future endeavors. I do acknowledge how great you are in the ring, but I also acknowledge that WWE is a little more than that, and no shame in doing that. You made it there. You made a name for yourself, and you are great. I do hope you come back. And yeah, that's my Ricochet's leaving. It's a shame. But I hope Samantha stays. That should sum it up for you. I acknowledge Ricochet, just like I hope you acknowledge the subscribe button. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a belt. Enter to win by leaving a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Ricochet leaving, and have a great day.